All right.
Alrighties.
First question, boys. Take this seriously now. One at a time. Can you both share what you understand about Project 2025 based on what you've heard or read so far?
First of all, I don't think Caesar should be a part of this conversation. All right. His
All right.
kind is the reason why we are making this project. All right.
All right. All right.
Just because he thinks he can cross the border makes him think he a U.S. citizen. Not happening. All right. All right.
But he was born here.
Nope. Don't matter. He different skin color than me. I don't like that. All right.
All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Is that all you have to say?
Yeah.
You, Caesar?
According to Project 2025, the basis of racial segregation or racial hate shall be removed. So what you're contradicting yourself, Mr.
It's not racist when it's the
Reading. Mr. Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic. All right.
I don't know what that means. What that mean?
Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic. It's like a
I don't know.
joke.
If you really ask me, I think we should get rid of the Department of Education. Just because
Why?
these little kids want to be learning stuff, they don't need to be in these sissy schools made up by these liberal governments that we have. We need to let the state choose what our kids need and don't need. Understand? All right. And we do that by getting rid of the FBI. Okay. See, the FBI, the FBI likes to put plants in people's brains. All right. These little devices that they be planting in people's minds is the reason why our school system is now failing. All right. See, now this school system that we got needs to be church led. All right. Because if we church lead the schools, then the schools will be better because they have Jesus in their heart. Okay. Okay.
Well, that is against the Constitution.
Nuh-uh.
That is unconstitutional.
Nope. I have the freedom of religion. That's my First Amendment.
You individually do.
That's my First Amendment.
All right. Moving on.
Next question, please.
How? Wait, hold up.
I didn't even get to answer that. What the fuck?
You don't need to.
Right. Well, what was the question, Ethan? Mr. Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic.
What you know about 20?
What aspects of Project 2025 do you find most intriguing or concerning?
Concerning? There ain't nothing concerning about it.
I found
American freedom.
Oh, one at a time.
If Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic could shut up for a moment.
Caesar first. Okay, Caesar first.
I think the most flawed, the most anger-inducing part is the wording. They like to use coalition and foreign nation terms in this so-called project as if we're going to war with each other. Now, from my basic understanding, this is one country. So who are we going to war with? Because if it's brother or brother, then we're gonna have some problems here. It's one nation under God, not whatever Reading and Writing and Arithmetic
and there's
over
two
here.
Genders too, but you don't see me complaining about that right now, do you?
All right, Colin or Caesar? Is that all you have to say?
Rolling.
All right. Second question, maybe second and a half, actually. What do you think should be the primary goals of Project 2025, given our current state of affairs?
I'll let the green guy go first.
Oh,
Green guy. Hey, I don't got no green card.
I
I think, in terms, we should be as America first as possible.
agree. I like that. Yeah.
Would you like to add on reading, writing, arithmetic?
Man, these damn Muslims, I swear. Always bombing hospitals, killing children. The Jews ain't no better. They be taking our money all the time. Gold chain wearing Jew spins up on your block. I don't know what to do against that. And don't even get me started with them damn Russians, commies.
We need to be more
what's
America
so bad?
first.
What's so bad about the Russians, Colin? I'm sorry.
Man, this Putin guy, man, you heard about his last election? Man, his last election, he won by 80%. How do you win by 80%? Ain't that possible?
Maybe the people just really love them. They love their patriots.
Or maybe they just don't want to lose their family at 12 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, maybe that. Go, Caesar, go.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
Man,
me personally, I think 12 o'clock is a little bit too soon.
Please tell me that I was on tape. God.
we're still rolling. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Maybe 70 years later, I can.
Our radical left. What you got to say on this, huh?
I gotta say, I agree. You know, reading,
We're in
writing,
agreement here. Oh, all right.
He got a point. You know, all this foreign policy shit, it ain't doing my tax dollars any good. That's what I'm.
Huh?
If you catch what I'm drifting about, right? I think we should put more of our tax dollars onto the American people. Am I right?
I
And
agree.
yes,
I agree. I like that one. Yep.
The statement of the
Whoa.
approval rate.
Hard right. But I thought
Hey,
you didn't want.
once I put America first after getting rid of these Ukrainian people, I don't know what we're supposed to do. I think we always got to put America first. Screw Ukraine. Ukraine's not a real place. All right.
I was supposed to lead off of that.
Next question.
Okay.
Meeting adjourned.
Jesus, got annihilated there. What's your next question, mediator?
Sorry.
How do you?
Sorry.
Jesus. College is
All right. How do you envision Project 2025 impacting our country in the next few years?
Oh, I'll let reading by the room take say something.
No. I want to hear what you guys say about this amazing
Come on,
project
you
we got
great.
here.
You like to say you hate the Reds. But
No.
your color for your party is red. What the fuck is that supposed to do?
I want to
Can you
hear
not see colors?
what
Is that
you
blue
got
to
to
you?
say. No, I want to hear what you got to say about this.
I think the impact of the Project 2025 is detrimental to the fundamental balance of politics right now as we stand. The rush.
Heavy words. Sorry.
All right, mediator, you want to fucking not want to cock block my goddamn.
Sorry. I'm just trying to fill the gaps. Keep going. You're cooking.
Well, I lost my train of thought, so man, fuck you.
Man, this new project that we got coming in the next couple of years is going to be a great project. All right. Just because the liberals think that they can do whatever they want, this project removes them. If there's no liberals, there's no problems, all right? So the FBI can't be looking over our Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, all right? Just because the FBI thinks that they got just because they think that they got all the power in the world, they think that they're able to do whatever they want. No, not happening. And this new Board of Education that we're going to be getting rid of and adding in something else new for the states, Man, our children are gonna be so smart. Their reading, writing, arithmetic, whatever you're saying over there, is gonna be the best it's ever been. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, Porky the Pig. I want to keep us sitting there.
I don't know what you mean by that. Come on, you gonna speak up your
But
train
what
of thought,
about
or have you
but
already
what
lost
about
your,
this?
or have you already lost your memory that Joe Biden has? Huh? That's what I thought.
Well, I haven't lost amount of lawsuits and court cases your president's going through right now.
Hey, at least I can
All
make
right,
more
all right.
sentences.
No. This is an argument, not point fingers, not attack. All right, Caesar, have you
Well,
shared all your thoughts?
the basis of 2025 is when. So I think Mr. Reddy over here should not be speaking so heavily on.
You have something to
his
say, Caesar.
president.
You have something to say.
Some say, what was the question again?
Man, see,
I
this
wasn't
guy's
paying
already got dementia. He's just like Joe Byron.
What?
I wasn't paying attention.
How do you envision Project 2025 impacting our country in the next few years?
Oh yeah, I was saying it. It's like it's gonna destroy the fundamentals of the balance of politics right now. Right now, we already have a fragile balance between conservatism and libertarian or liberals.
Yes.
And the disruption in the fundamental values of 2025 is to get rid of all liberal projects, agendas, laws that has been passed, and so on and so forth, to the point where it's just conservatism. Conservatives.
That is, in fact, what Project 2025, Caesar, is about.
Right?
They want to
So
remove
the impact of that
the
would lead
original
to a
Democratic
misbalance of power between one party, meaning that no new ideas, no new concepts of law and maybe better ways of thinking is going to be passed through if the only thing that's getting passed through over here is freaking just conservatives. Like what the like how do we pass something if they don't like it, huh? I mean, we just don't get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just don't get it. And what if that idea, like, let's get into the idea of restricting gun laws. Right?
Whoa!
See, reading, writing, and arithmetic over here is all pissy about it. But maybe we need to do a little bit of restricting, a little bit of refinancing, a little bit of restructuring, huh? What am I supposed to do if I can't at least have a fighting chance of being able to do anything about it, huh?
So what are you gonna do
How is that?
if one of the
How is
Muslims
that?
from
How is that
Palestinians
free?
are gonna spin up on your block with the gold chain wearing Jew, and you don't got a Glock on you? What you gonna do about
The
that? Except,
Palestinians are like thousands of miles away. What are you bringing them for?
exactly. Why are we over there then? Back to the original question.
Original question.
This
If original
foreign
question was
affairs
the impact of
issue that we got going
2025.
on around us. Our Second Amendment is what keeps our foreign affairs from coming back here. You ever heard of 9/11? See, our Second Amendment is what's going to keep us safe, okay? This Project 2025 is going to keep us, with our Second Amendment, keeping us safe on our own homeland territory, all right?
But what if that causes uprising gun violence within America?
There will be no uprising because there are no liberals.
All right. I mean, liberals are against guns, so why would they use them in the first place?
Well, within Project 2025, its goal is to remove all liberals. So, if there are no liberals to challenge, if there are no liberals to challenge said Second Amendment, then Second Amendment has no problems.
So you're using the Second Amendment here because
I don't think you're
of the tragedy of 9/11, right?
No.
As your basis right here.
I'm talking about foreign affairs.
You're saying how
I'm talking about having some
Muslims over
terrorists
there have
show up
caused
to our,
9/11s over here,
I'm talking
right?
about
And that's
some
why you need your
terrorists
Second
showed up
Amendment,
to our
just
own
in case you
doorstep.
need to have some terrorists done for, right? From my basic of understanding, Bush did 9/11. And you know what party Bush was? Republican.
Hey, at least Clinton didn't have, or at least Bush didn't have affairs like Clinton did, huh? That's what I thought.
Hey, Democrats get some pussy, all right? Republicans
underage. All right, next question. Sorry for getting off topic.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, moderator, where you at?
Yeah, where's the moderator, dude? We're getting off topic.
You guys tell me to shut up, basically.
Yeah,
because this
who
liberal
needs
sissy,
an independent, huh?
this liberal sissy over here doesn't know what he's talking about.
You want to speak in one sentence instead of stuttering through all of it?
Next question.
All right. I had a question, but it's okay. What are your initial concerns about 2025, Project 2025, and how might they be addressed? I think we already covered this earlier, but
my initial concerns with the Project 2025, I would have to say there's nothing wrong with it.
all right. You, Caesar?
I think that it is very flawed in its way of thinking and its perception. I'll give them one thing and one thing only. And that is I agree with their foreign affairs of individual America, right? That's the only thing I can give them.
Yep.
Getting rid of the DOJ, getting rid of the FBI, and most importantly, getting rid of the Department of Education is some of the most backwards thing I've ever heard of my goddamn. Yes, I think the Department of Education is a little bit flawed. I think it can be using some restructuring at least. But outright getting rid of it is going to be detrimental for the poor that can't get proper education because they don't have enough money to support it. All the federal programs and grants and everything else in between that help lift the poor to be a little bit equal compared to the rich, and even then it's still not enough. Getting rid of all that just for the states to have the power, and who knows what they're gonna do with it? They could give it to the parents. Well, if the parents are too poor to be able to finance education, what are they gonna do? There's no structure in place when they get rid of all of it. So, what's that all about?
Send them back to where they came from.
All right. And
immigration policy.
So you're talking about lower class, huh?
Yes, I think the lower class will get absolutely evaporated. Right. There will no longer be a middle class. It will just be poor and rich. Nothing else. No in between.
All right.
And then the destruction of the FBI.
Do you think that would lead to equality or what?
Yeah, it leads to inequality, definitely.
Inequality?
Very bad inequality. Like future, like dystopian. It'd be pretty bad.
But let's just say, you're talking like rich get richer, poor get dead, right?
I'm talking about the wage gap between rich and poor is going to be worse than it is right now. Especially with the decreasing in taxing and the laissez-faire.
Man, you liberals want to get rid of taxes, I swear. Not getting rid of taxes. You guys want to just add tax onto everything. You guys sound like the British back in 1776. How about you just eat my teeth?
How about... what am I supposed to say to that? What? Back in 17... Dude, that was like 300 years ago. What the hell? Sound like my ex-wife. Can't forget the past. Know what I'm saying?
I bet your ex-wife is a Budweiser wife.
What? What if we raised the taxes?
Nope.
And the rich gave back to the poor?
Hey.
Trickle down.
The reason why the rich are rich because they're smarter than everybody. All right. The rich look at the taxes. All right. They read the taxes. All right. They see taxes have loopholes. Okay? Them loopholes. Not gonna go there. Never mind.
Now I keep saying, come on, reading, writing, arithmetic.
Nope, because even in my own mind, I think that's a little too racist. them loopholes allow them to keep their money and not have to pay it. While these poor people selling crack on the side of the road can't read. All right. And that's why we got to give it back to the states so the states can enforce the reading, writing, arithmetic. All right.
Arithmetic. Oh, you're revving my engine.
And make them read them their tax forms so they can keep the money that they so earned through their hard work and dedication. All right.
But as they get wealthier and richer through that system, don't you think that would also cause inflation?
No.
You don't think that will cause a rise in prices?
No. More people got more money. So that means people get fatter. And my pockets get fatter. All right? Next question.
Wait, do I get a say in this?
You already had your say.
All right.
You can go, Caesar. You can go. No?
Why do you bring up
speak.
crack? Why do you bring up crack?
Statistics.
He said crack people gets less educated or gets more educated, right?
They get less educated. So that's why the states need to enforce their new school educations and push for more to get them off the streets. Understand? I know you might not understand that because you liberal sissies set up tents out in front of colleges all the time, talking about some foreign country that don't exist. But keeping the schools within the states allows more regulated learnings throughout the country.
No. Alrighty. So on that basis, I think that he's just downright wrong. Alright. The basis of having the state-led government is state-led education is going to lead to a lesser crime rate turnout, is what I'm hearing, right? It's going to make the crackheads less crackhead. Is that what I'm getting? Is reading, writing, retarded? Am I saying this right?
What? You just called me retarded? No, answer the question. Did that just come out of your mouth?
Yes.
See, my cousin Shane Gillis. So that means my cousin got Down syndrome.
Did you graduate high school?
Yeah, I graduated 2 degrees. You know where those degrees are at? Up his mom. I apologize for that outburst. I am sorry. I'm just saying.
Next question.
No,
Wait,
hold on.
How much time do we have?
I'm just saying, a state-led education allows for better coordination throughout the state. So that means them states within, all the counties within them states would be able to be more coordinated and raise the levels of their students. I rest my case.
Yeah, but what's stopping like a more richer state like California of just absolutely pounding it?
Last time I checked, California's got lower test scores than most of the eastern states. And that's because they're a liberal state.
That's currently right now, right?
Exactly.
But
so that
in
means
your ideology.
No.
And if
it's current, that means they're still in the federal system. So if we move to state system, that means they would be able to up. That means they'd be able to up their own test scores.
And in that case, it'd work, right?
Exactly.
But what's stopping a lesser rich state like fucking Indiana from just not being able to support their educational system due to the lack of governmental funding? Then test scores will go lower. So that also reinforce from lack of government funding for education. because the Department of Education would be evicted from that.
The Department of
And not to
Education has
mention-
nothing
not
to
to
do with
mention-
funding.
Not to mention that if a school does not agree by these new gender rules that Project 2025 wants to introduce, that they will lose government funding altogether.
Well, if it's state controlled, then there's no government funding. It's all governed by the state.
Yeah, but okay, right now states are getting government funding for lesser for poorer schools, right? Like the fucking like in recent times, like the free and reduced lunch and shit. Like, so how could states support such programs to help the lesser fortunate from being able to attend school and to also just be able to do anything a more fortunate person can in those lesser states? Like California is a great example, but that's because California has such a high GDP. Unlike Indiana and other such states that don't have such a high amount of available tax income from the people, how are they going to be able to get the exact same education in that case? And California is where all the rich people are, like Hollywood and all that shit. So what do you say about that? How does your idea works in one case but not in the rest? How is that equal? Huh?
Mostly, if we're talking about states compared to California, California's population sheerly on its own would not be able to afford its own education to begin with, because their GDPs all based off
when
of.
They make up like fucking a shit ton.
That's
of
all
GDP.
because of business. None of that business is being put into their own taxes.
Okay.
The redistribution.
So then now you're contradicting yourself.
No, the redistribution of state and the state sales and income taxes based off California's, which I believe is around 15 or so percent, which is almost double of Indiana's, would be able to counteract their population effect because of their taxes being so much different compared with their population.
So you're saying because because population, it redistributes itself, right?
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Yeah. How okay. So you're saying that California's GDP is approximately 2 times higher than Indiana.
Yeah. I mean, it statistically is.
But yeah, okay. So you're saying it's 2 times higher, right?
I would say.
But what about the population? How much higher is the population compared to Indiana? Because I'm pretty sure one of the counties is basically the population of it.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You're talking about the states
so,
being able to pay for it given the population of the states, they're able to pay for themselves. If there's less people, then you need less money going into the schools because there'd be less people going into the schools.
Then that drop down educational rates. That just makes it worse.
Wouldn't. It would go based off population.
If you have less people,
if you have less people in your population, then there's less people in the schools. But if you got more people in your population, the more you got in the schools. So the more money that has to go into it.
What?
So you're talking about like a proportional funding?
Yes.
A proportional funding, yes. Okay. Purely based on just the fundamentals of that, right? But how much bigger is California's population compared to India? If their GDP is 2 times bigger, then that means that California would have to have 2 times more population-wise amount of people, like children and shit like that, in order to be equal, right? Yes.
So California's population
Yes.
is about 6.7%. No, 670% higher than Indiana's. Indiana has a population.
670%.
Indiana has a population of 6.8 million people. California has a population of 40 million.
40 over. So there, it's a 6 times higher.
Yes.
It's a 6 times higher. So that means that California would have a great, and the GDP is 2 times higher, comparatively, of Indiana and California. Right?
I don't know. You're making me fucking look shit up now.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
So the average income.
Yes.
The average income compared to California, Indiana average income is $70,000 a year. California's is 100.
Just. That's the average income, right? Of California and all that. Okay. Give me a second. This is all too much for me in my brain. Okay, that's income though. That's not GDP wise. I mean, I guess income goes into
Indiana
schools,
makes $500 million of annual GDP.
Per year.
California makes $4 billion.
Just.
So the comparative there allows California to be able to use tax money and put in there because of their population and size to be more. So they need more money to be put into the schools, which they have allowed within the $4 billion that they make per year.
So. Okay, so in that case, well, there's no arguing that actually works pretty nicely.
I rest my case.
But how much of that is that's not, but 500 million isn't going to.
Well, no, it has to be changed, obviously, because of the tax rates. Right now, everything's still funded by the government. When given into a state-funded thing, that GDP would be transferred into other circumstances.
Yeah, it'd have to uphold all the other programs that have been canceled.
Which they have the money to do so.
Yeah, but that means it'd end up decreasing the overall income because they had to subsidize it. So they had to substitute a majority of their GDP to used to be government funded programs, but now they're not because it no longer exists. Unless they don't want to do that.
If you have more people educated, that means you have more people that are going to be work ready within the education. So that means their GDP may take a hit for maybe a couple years. But as soon as their workforce starts to get back up after going through all the schooling that they're going to be funding, that GDP would go right back to normal, maybe even higher.
Yeah, but
it would allow for higher paying jobs. More money means more spending, which gives you a higher GDP.
Yes, that does work. What you're saying is indeed correct. But I'd have to say that how would you know? How could you properly know that it'd be distributed equally inside the state itself, right? So not only do you have to realign all the states to make state-funded programs, that now federal provided programs are no longer existing, then you got to reallocate it to the states, right? So you got to make sure everything is equally fair inside the states. So you got to make sure that the counties are getting everything Like, how would you not know that maybe the states will make it a merit-based system where the schools that do the best are going to get the most amount of education, which is most likely going to be the richer people because
I would
they
argue
can
that's
get
how we are right
more.
now.
Yeah, but now it's going to be even worse. Yeah, I know like Lafayette and all them shit. Them fucking motherfuckers are fucking rich as.
Well, given based off
But it's just going to be
based off
worse
the removal of the
because
Department of Education, states are required to have regulations for their own education system. So that means that would give base standards for all schools given around the entire state.
yeah, base standards that they can choose. So they can either choose merit based or they can go
No, there's no
needs
choosing. It's
first. But
given by.
what?
The removal
I need you to re-say that again.
the removal of the education, the Department of Education, is
Yes.
only changing what kids are taught. There's no like changing of money or anything. All schools are still created with the equality. So that means when given the standards that they need to follow within the money allocated for everything, they must follow it. There's no choosing what they can and cannot do. There's a set program.
You just said that the Department of Education being disbanded does not change money, but then it changes money? That doesn't make sense. I need you to re-say that one.
I never said it had to do with money.
Yeah, it didn't. It doesn't have to do with money, right? But then you say it has to be the redistribution of money, right? Am I getting that right?
The Department of Education has zero stuff to do with money. All that they have to do is what they choose to have as like learning standards within their schools. So it would be up to the states with their government to allocate the correct money.
Yeah, now you okay. Can you say that last part again? Because I'm either over here high as fuck or something. I'm not following through in that last. I don't know why, but my brain does not work right this second.
Well, you're talking about how the Department of Education is the one that's putting in money for everything. The Department of Education is what puts.
Following me, so now you're switching it up and it's making me confused. So you gotta give me a second. Yes, you did. You just literally argued with me. California are gonna have the same exact like education and everything. Now you say now it has to do nothing with education. What the? How does that make any sense? You just followed through with my argument and then you just said.
What time were we at, bro? We've probably been going for like 30 minutes.
I'm confused on this last part because me and Colin just argued. Me and Colin just argued about the Department of Education and how the money allocation is disproportionate from the 2025 project.
There's no money that's allocated within the Department of Education. The Department of Education only sets standards of learning.
Only sets standards of learning, right? So how the fuck did we get the money?
Because you talked about how the states would not have enough money to be able to fund these things.
Yeah, because I thought that's what the Department of Education was.
No, the Department of Education sets standards of learning for schools around the country. They said what needs to be learned.
Money.
I don't know. You're the one that brought up money, and I'm defending the.
I brought up money because I thought that's what it was.
No, it has zero stuff to do with money. It sets standards.
Then why did we just argue for like 30 minutes straight?
Because you thought you were right, just like the stupid liberal you are.
That's fair enough. That's fine.
Next question.
What was the original question? What is the original? I want to be. I don't give a fuck about this interview. I just wanted to learn.
The original question.
What was the
original question? Because I want to know how fucking messed up I got in this fucking question. How insanely wrong I got to this.
I think it was, what are your initial concerns about Project 2025 and how might they be addressed?
Oh yeah, and you talked about getting rid of
the DOE.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, and then I got. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Next question.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's bad. Well, I did no research.
Next question.
Are we done, bro? Still
No,
going?
No,
I want
I could
more.
like keep
I
on
want
doing.
more.
This is pretty fun. This is pretty fun. Even though I was completely wrong for the past like 10 minutes.
What
I
challenges
like.
do you foresee in implementing a project like this on a national scale?
Getting
I
rid of
feel
all the
like.
sissy liberals.
I feel like, especially with the banning of LGBTQ stuff like, is gonna be very alienating to students that feel that way. I feel like I draw a line on children. Never ever
Yeah, because
Oh,
you
I
judge
agree.
children, huh? That's what I thought. Drake looking head ass.
That's wild.
Some complications
But
I see with this coming project.
With implementing on a national scale, not
implementing on a
not
national
over
scale.
On a
concerns.
national scale. So we're talking about the entire country here, right?
Yes. How hard? What challenges do you see coming if on trying to get it like to go all
I
over
would
across the
say
state?
having to negotiate within all the states to have them agree with this type of agenda. With how we know how most states are right now, especially on the West Coast, if you know what I mean, they wouldn't be too keen on what we are talking about here. So really, the hardest thing here is to get everyone on board. Because that's the first part of getting anything down, is making sure people are down. And it's going to be very difficult to bring everyone together and believe in one thing. Under God,
Okay.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You know?
Yeah, but like that's why you make
under one
laws.
nation. Under one nation. That's why. So one nation, that one nation got to believe in us.
One nation, one ideology is what you're saying.
Yep. And that's what Project 2025 says. We are one and one for all. I think that's a Three Musketeers quote, but I might be wrong.
What? All right.
Next question.
Okay.
What?
I don't know.
I got cut off from my shit. Fucking reading right.
I don't like that question. Next question.
This is why I get so confused. What the fuck?
Next question.
Cut off like halfway. Or the guy in the overall starts shitting his pants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I gotta get to like the shooting range in like 20 minutes. Can you get these questions rolling?
Where do you see Project 2025 taking our country in the long run?
One nation with liberty and justice for all. All for one and one for all.
You just repeated yourself on nation. I swear. Okay.
Honestly, it's pretty fun.
What role should public input play in shaping the direction of this initiative?
I think it should be more inclusive because it sounds like right now it's primarily one side of conservatives, obviously, because they're the ones that put it together. But I feel like it could be, if we can come onto some basis of if we can come to a middle ground where we get some of what they want, but not all of it, because all of it's a little bit more radical than it needs to be. If we can, I feel like we can come to a middle.
Am I hearing the Great Compromise Part 2?
I think we can get a great compromise. I do think there are some things in there that are.
You know, they always talk about make America great again. How about we need another great compromise, you know?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I think there's with the idea of a 2025 project, that there is obviously some cracks. There's some leaks in our political system right now that has made people be so bent to just completely discarding the ideas of another man. So we need to find some middle ground here between Republicans and Democratic to come together, not as two, but as one, and be able to solve the problems we need instead of trying to get rid of some fucking Singaporean fucking app that has nothing to do with national security.
All right. I think within our great compromise, I think the compromise should just be let all conservatives vote. Don't let the liberals vote.
I think
Okay?
reading, writing.
No.
How would you do
I
that?
think-
Though?
How would you get that to be done?
Based off the registered voters within our country, we would only allow people who are registered as the Republican Party.
Well, anyone can lie.
So? Joe Biden lies all the time. He lies in bed and sleeps. Okay.
And Donald Trump lies as well about paying a porn star actor to sleep with them. So we all got some problems.
Still hit, though.
All right.
Next question.
Hold on.
But back at that, though. Great compromise.
Great compromise.
I
think
the foreign affairs is something that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, I do think foreign
affairs.
I think we stretched ourselves too thin.
With the gold chain wearing Jews, the terrorists, if you know what I mean, and the families disappearing at 12 o'clock in the morning, and then Ukrainians with their drones all over the place.
Cut off all ties with every country around us.
America first.
I don't think we should cut ties with everyone. I think we should still keep NATO alive.
Isolation.
Keep our relationships with Saudi Arabia still in progress.
Wow.
But minimize the amount of military activity that America is putting on the global scale right now. Because I do think some countries are lacking. Some countries right now aren't even on the standard of the basis standard of NATO's, of how much GDP, comparatively, how much percentage of your GDP is going. I think some countries are indeed slacking, and it's putting America having to put the world on its back. What is that all about?
So you talking about other countries within NATO putting more money into NATO?
Yes, so we can put less, so we can go back to that being to the people of our country. Because right now we're using that money for people. They ain't paying taxes. I don't see them paying American taxes.
I agree.
No,
I
they're
agree.
just hitch
Our
riding.
tax money should not be going to them. Our tax money should not be going to them.
They're just hitch riding on our taxes.
I agree.
And I do think the restructuring of the Department of Education to be a little bit more effective, and the restructuring of education as a whole in America needs to be restructured so that literacy rates can stop being at a 6th grade level and be at least adult standard 12th and above grade, maybe even college level right now.
I didn't work.
And I think that money would be greatly beneficial if it got transferred somewhere to where it'd be useful for us as Americans.
I don't like how me working 200 hours last week on the railroad and half that got sent over to the Middle East. I don't like that.
That's what I'm saying. I
want my money back, you know?
That money can be used for social programs, for welfare, for homelessness, to help to help them better themselves.
No.
For social.
No.
To push for mental
health. It goes straight to the military so we can roll them through. Yeah!
All right.
Next question, please. Good answer, Caesar. I applaud you on that one. Next answer.
No, you completely switched at the very end. We were agreeing until you had to go reading, writing, or retarded.
Next question,
Reading,
please.
writing, or
Next question, please.
How do you balance the economic benefits of Project 2025 with its potential environmental costs?
Ooh.
there is no balancing. You just lose. We eventually die out. Is how it ends up being.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I want to know why.
What?
I want to know why you think
Because
this beautiful economy can't grow and prosper.
I think the reason why it can grow and prosper, just not in the right ways. If we take away our restrictions of emissions and carbon-based power, it's gonna increase our globalization of the Earth's own greenhouse effect, therefore increasing global warming and making us closer to dooming ourselves to the point where we can't go back. Where it's just gonna keep on progressively be worse. It's gonna be a positive feedback loop. It's gonna keep on getting worse, and it's gonna make it worse over then, and it's just gonna keep on rolling and rolling and until we lose.
So
There's no coming back from it.
hearing here is
So we need to be.
What I'm hearing here is you don't like dinosaurs.
No, I don't like dinosaurs. I think them motherfuckers should be staying on the ground and not be coming back up.
Okay, I got a second question for you. You talking about all these greenhouse gases and everything, but what about all the mining and everything that still creates those greenhouse gases to power your lithium batteries and your little tiny Tesla you see driving around?
Good. Yes.
What you got about that?
With that saying,
you ever seen those giant Caterpillar dump trucks? I got a dump truck.
I will give you that. It's the alternative is still pretty bad. But given the amount of research that has been put on coal and how many people die per year because of the cause of it, it is extremely gross to reduce the amount of restrictions on it to increase it, because eventually you're just going to be increasing that die from lung failure and everything. Small.
You know, the creation of a Tesla creates more CO2 than a car does in its entire lifetime, right?
Okay. And why do I give a fuck? No, I was kidding.
So where's those CO2 happening?
Well, I'm not saying that you should use Teslas and shit like that. I'm saying that you should be reducing the amount of coal, because gas itself, natural gas is a lot less worse than coal and fuck, I forgot what the other one is. There's 3 in total, but natural gas is technically like it's a little bit like oil and gas and stuff like that. Like you can keep your car. The people themselves are not causing the problem of global warming. Comparatively to how companies are, it is a lot less worse.
So you're talking about Taylor Swift flying to the gas station to get a Slurpee at midnight?
Yeah, with their airplane. Yeah,
okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's just what I'm going with. You can keep your dinosaur juices, right?
So I can keep my dually at 350.
Yeah, you can keep the dual at 350 with twin turbo, V8, whatever else you want. All right.
I like that. Okay.
Statistically speaking, the people aren't causing as much of a ruckus when it comes to
so you're talking about
global warming.
You're talking about putting limitations, within companies.
Limitations on the companies themselves, because they are causing. Because it's like what you said, the Tesla thing. Yes, they're causing massive amounts of emissions on mining and harvesting natural resources of the earth, from lithium to create their. That's what's causing the most amount of problem. The companies distributing their goods across from airplanes and all that stuff in between, that's causing a lot of more.
So how do you
Taylor Swift?
How do you suppose they fix
herself? That I think they should fix it by reducing the amount of. There is better alternatives than coal. We can use nuclear energy. Nuclear energy in itself is 100 times better. Is 100 times better than coal. just emissions wise.
but-
It produces little to no emissions at all.
But it's also like 10 times the price.
It's 10 times the price because we haven't had any beneficial research and improvements to it because we've just been hiding in fear
Because
of a nuclear, because of Chernobyl and shit like that. We've been in
So
fear of
you're
it.
saying if
So
we
there's
were,
been no beneficial things.
If we were to
for
get
it.
more information on said nuclear energy, you believe that would go down in price to be able to create it?
Yes, if we increase the researching for nuclear energy and solar panels and everything, turbines, hydro, if we just keep on the short term, yeah, it's gonna suck. Short term, it's gonna suck. But long term wise, it's gonna be a much beneficial thing than to just keep on pumping out coal, because not only will that eventually get us to zero emissions, even though like the products and stuff like that are gonna have emissions, that's just always, there's like no stopping it. Like no matter how you see it, you're gonna have to cut trees down to make paper and everything in between. That's just always gonna be a thing. But we can at least reduce the amount we're producing after the fact. We can stopping coal mining will also stop mining like emissions of just mining as well if we just stop coal mining. But I know that's going to be hard. We need to have the infrastructure in order to be able to transition over from a coal-based system to a more economically friendly based environment, just electric system.
Where are we going to get the money to switch over away from coal?
There's this thing called the military budget.
No.
We can take a little bit of it. But I say in order to allocate the money, we should first have a step of how this system is going to work long term, so we know for sure it's going to work, instead of just putting our dicks in our ass and praying to God that it works, right? So I think we should have a 20-year step plan from transitioning over from a coal-based system to a solar, just more renewable energy based system. I think a 20-year plan will be good enough to at least get us close enough to where it's not causing us much harm.
How many years?
20.
Okay.
I think 20 is a reasonable enough amount of years to get us to where we want to be. And throughout that time, we can always be researching, and it might even shorten down from 20, from researching and just improving the amount of energy we get out of solar panels, the amount it costs to get solar panels. We could do government-based programs where if you install a solar panel, you get money or whatever. So it increases the amount of stuff, like amount of energy that's happening. Like it's gonna exponentially grow of transitioning over from coal to non-renewable. Because right now it's pretty expensive to put solar panels on your rooftop, but if we can get that cost to go down via government-based funding, it'll be very beneficial.
Okay. Now, I might have a buddy that's coming in that might want to speak his mind if he checks his phone real quick.
Assuming it's Colby.
No.
God.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, actually.
Colby just said the N-word.
Never mind. My buddy said he don't want to come and talk for some reason. I think he's scared to voice his own mind. Shame.
When we go on a topic that we can just go off the wall, I like that Department of Education. Oh, Ethan died.
Oh, I was kicked? Bro.
Yeah, you were AFK for like a shit ton of time.
Oh, next question. How would you describe the current state of immigration policy and its impact on our country?
Oh, man, where do I even start here? These damn border hoppers over here that we got jumping into our country, ruining our tax money.
One at a time.
Before we get into it, it's isolationism, right? So no immigration.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, is
True.
that what the
Well,
2025?
No.
2025, Project 2025, they want to increase the amount of alliance we have with other countries, actually.
Oh, so
But
Colin's been wrong
they
this
do
whole
want to cut
time
spending off. They do want to cut spending from for countries.
Yeah.
from
So
NATO and
I
shit like
haven't
that,
been
right?
wrong by
Like,
cutting spending.
okay.
But getting rid of these border hoppers, I swear, that's what's really the problem with this country. And them taking all my
So
tax dollars.
okay? Before we start saying anything, let's read what it is on the 2020 because I feel like we're getting a lot.
2020, the Project 2025 wants to,
That's why they're abolishing the Homeland Security. They want to
yes,
replace it with an immigration agency and that incorporates customs and border protection, immigration and custom enforcement, the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services, and elements of the Department of Health and Human Services and Justice.
Basically, a better better immigration system. Is what I heard. It'd probably be racist.
well, yeah,
Some way,
exactly.
somehow,
That's the point of
conservatives will
it.
probably make it racist, but I feel
It's
like
because it would be
just hearing
they're gonna
that,
make it so much harder to get into the country
yeah,
because they're gonna be having so many more
And
regulations within it.
that too, yes. It says right here the admission of refugees would be curtailed and
Because
processing fees for
oh
asylum
wow,
seekers would increase.
because
damn.
right now,
An
like how
opportunity for significant influx of money. That's
it's
crazy.
been like this for a while, but so the United States has a certain like refugee count that they accept like per year,
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
then it's a lot harder to get into the country after that. So I believe that they're looking to remove that number entirely, just to make it even harder to.
so you don't even become a refugee. It's
No,
just like you just get kicked
you would
out
have to be
straight
seeking
up.
asylum and pay to get in. That's
Damn.
what they're pushing for.
And listen to this. Donald Trump has stated that if he is reelected, he would immediately begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history.
Yep, I heard about that too.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so they're gonna make
That
it virtually
launches-
impossible for you to come to this
This
country if you
if
don't have
you're
the
in like
proper.
documentations and
Yes.
everything. Yeah, so that is horrible. That's actually like
Well, I thought
dystopian.
he said that in 2016, but I don't think it happened.
No,
Well, it kind of
That
did.
he also stated that
it
with
kind
his
of
newest
did.
election. I remember reading about it one time.
So it did happen. Like you didn't
No,
make it
no,
happen.
not that it did happen, but he's planning on doing that again within his next if he
Wow.
is to be
Yeah,
reelected again.
I'm assuming instead of like the Muslim while he was here, it's gonna be like a lot, like 20 times
Oh,
bigger.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Hold on. He said.
That's actually horrible.
All right, let me read you guys this.
Trump
Miller
wants
told.
Trump wants to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807 because it recommends arresting, detention, and deportation of undocumented immigrants across the country. So he wants to invoke an act that was made over 200 years ago.
And a much more racist America.
Listen to this. Miller told Project 2025 participant Charlie Kirk in November 2023 that the operation would rival the scale of and complexity of building the Panama Canal. He said the operation would include deputizing the National Guard and red states as immigration enforcement officers under Trump's command. These forces would then be deployed into blue states. Miller would also consider was also considering deputizing local police and sheriffs for undertaking, as well as agents of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, and the Drug Enforcement Administration. He said these forces would go around, and this is quote, go around the country arresting illegal immigrants and large-scale raids. He, end quote, he would then be taken to end quote, large-scale staging grounds near the border, most likely in Texas, unquote, to be held in interment internment camps prior to deportation.
So they would basically create an army, start
Holy,
in the red states,
That's
and then go to the
this-
blue states.
and
that's
then
literally a civil
I should
war.
have completed. I should have kept writing, bro. The last sentence of this paragraph says Trump has also spoken of rounding up homeless people in blue cities and detaining them in camps.
What the
At least they have a
fuck?
place
That's
to live. At least they
crazy.
have a
Hey,
place
at
to
least
live.
they have a home.
Hey,
At
all I
least
gotta
they'd
say,
have a
at least Indiana's red. All I gotta say, all I
Right.
gotta say.
That is true.
Bro, that's
But
crazy
who'd
though.
win? Because it literally just be blue versus red. Because the blue states will
Yes,
not.
this whole paragraph
Will
was saying that
not.
they're gonna go straight to the blue states and blue
Yeah,
cities
and the
and
blue
do all
states
this.
will not accept that, so they have to retaliate with their own national. So it'd literally be a clash on clash.
See, but I think
if
this
that
is I
happened.
think this is
It's
where
civil war.
I think this is where we have to put faith in like the Constitution with having
Yeah.
the legislative and executive and judicial branches. I think this is where we have to put faith in them.
Next analysis.
We have to pray to God that they're at
Because
least smart enough to know that this is
a
a
lot of-
horrible fucking idea.
it's really only the radicals that want to go this far. And I think that states in
Is
and
this
of
something like
themselves
Marjorie Taylor Greene like approves of? I'm assuming?
probably. But I think
Because I know she's part of the
states
radical
I
right.
think states in and of themselves would not allow this to happen.
Yeah, I feel like they're a bit
I don't think
smart enough.
either it be red or blue. I don't think either side would really allow this to be pushed all the way as they're intending.
Unless something super weird happens. Like I don't even know what could happen that would push it that far.
What they're really talking about here is
It's just a straight up overtaking of
Trump's going to create his own militia that's different against the army that we have already, and then
well, he's going to use the pre-existing National Guard of the Red State and just turn that
so
basically a red army.
He's creating a new militia against the national government.
Yeah. So control the blue state, but for immigration though.
Well, but that's the thing though. It might be about immigration, but the blue states are not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah, because it's basically like invading foreign. It's still not a good.
They would probably consider it invading foreign ground. They'd honestly
they could honestly.
They would see it as an act of war. I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if they see it as an act of war.
All right, this is getting a little bit too serious, man.
I mean, ain't this the point of the podcast? We're supposed to be talking
That's
about
true, but
Project 2025.
I feel like
I know we're supposed to
the
take
scary
sides
part-
and everything, but this is like crazy what we're talking about.
I mean, we can go off the walls with this question, I guess, but all I gotta say before we go off the walls, I feel like America right now is to the point where they would do. That's the scary part. That's the most terrifying
people
part.
have said
this
that we are
happen.
People have said that we are the closest to another civil war as we were to the last one.
Yeah.
So I mean,
all it took was a presidential election.
Exactly.
Lincoln getting elected, basically.
Not saying that Lincoln being a Republican was the issue, just because Trump's going to be a Republican, but
yeah, but it's
they're both being off the fact of states not getting what they want, and a new president coming in and changing that.
Yeah,
that's really what we're looking at right here.
It's pretty similar. It's scarily similar. It's very how close we are to repeating ourselves. And now, not only that, but the fact that we just don't care anymore it's I don't know. America these next couple literally these next couple of months is changing. I bet. If Donald Trump wins, which it's a possibility. It's a 50-50 split, like comparatively.
No, it's not. RFK.
Even with all the Donald Trump stuff. and RFK Jr. is looking like to get rid of some of Joe Biden's, right? That's what it's looking like.
I wouldn't be surprised if the vote goes to what is it, the Senate?
The House, I
The
think.
House?
Right?
Is it the House or
I
Senate?
think the House does a tie.
I thought it was the Senate.
I thought it was too.
Maybe it was
No,
the
no.
Senate because they do more of the important stuff. But I feel like it's the House because of the people.
No, because I thought the vice president is the one who gets like the final vote or whatever. Or is that when
No,
the
he gets a
votes...
final vote if it splits again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's the Senate.
Yeah, so it'd have
Because
to be Senate.
Senate,
Then.
the representatives are already electoral votes.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah,
the
okay.
Senate would become... Yeah, okay.
Well, I guess the Senate's already electoral votes too, though, right?
The House is as well. I feel like it'd be the House because the House is based on population, right?
Yeah.
Whoever has an open screen can probably search it up. But I mean, it could honestly be like something like that where it goes to the House or the
Here, I'm
Senate.
gonna look that up right now because I want to know. If the...
You winning, son. A good kill. Good. You made him leave.
Who?
The person that you killed, you disconnected. Winning money. You just killed. Man just left.
A majority of the senators is needed to win.
Senators, okay.
So it is the Senate.
Yeah, senators do have most of the bigger rulings, so it makes sense. Damn.
All right. Do we have any more questions?
So what would happen if Joe Biden wins? It's just
A lot
another.
of questions.
I feel like we just lose no matter what, even if Trump doesn't win, because Trump just make it a big thing and then they just go. Right?
Wait, what was your question, Caesar? What happens if Joe Biden wins?
He's talking if
Yeah,
if Joe Biden wins, that means the Republicans won't be able to push their Project 2025.
but they'll just do it anyways. Because
No, they
it'll be
won't.
like now. Well,
Because they would
because
still
they'll
round
think
up.
this
They
is
would
like the
still round.
last stand.
They'd still round up the people in the red states and push towards a
Yeah.
more.
They'll just say it's a rigged election and then just fucking go all out. So no matter if Donald Trump wins, it's better because they'd have more support. But if Donald Trump loses, they just go ahead and do it less support. But they'll basically just make it like a whole where it's like, oh, you just cheated. And that's it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they just.
Yeah, I really don't
No.
see a win-win situation here.
I think it's just a lose-lose.
I think
I'm
it's
pretty
just a
sure we just
lose-lose.
lose.
Jesus Christ, what I walk into?
What we want, so. Yay.
All right.
At least we win in this situation.
I think that's a good ending spot of this said podcast.
A dreadful statement at the very.
A dreadful statement talking about how civil war will happen if this election goes through.
We need RFK Jr. to win.
What was our Lord Savior? RFK Jr.
RFK Jr.
The guy that had words.
Everyone say bye to Jewel. Bye, Jewel.
Bye, Joel.
Bye, Joe. Time to say the N-word now.